Hello and welcome to Overthinking Eurovision. I'm Matt Belinkie. Now when fans talk about the songs from 2022 that deserve to place higher, Ireland, France, and Germany get mentioned a lot. But we feel that Finland kinda got robbed after sending what could have been one of the hottest rock songs of 1989. Jezebel was co-written by none other than Desmond Child, a legend who was credited on Living on a Prayer, Dude Looks Like a Lady, and Livin' La Vida Loca. I guess he likes the word livin'. He also weirdly was credited on 3 of the songs from last year's American Song Contest. And look, we love the American Song Contest, but Desmond, that was not your best work. Jezebel, on the other hand, is a fun song full of interesting modulations. You could kind of hear the Bon Jovi DNA in there. But we assume Rasmus lead singer Lauri Ulonen really did something to piss off the Eurovision producers because, yikes. Hiya, Georgie. Jezebel finished 21st out of 25 songs, but we could pretty much promise they will do a lot better this year. Ever since Cha 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 was released in January, it has been one of the frontrunners to win the whole enchilada. At Finland's national finals, the score was 539 points for Cha 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 and 152 points for its nearest competitor. It more than tripled the second place score, guys. So, let's pour ourselves a pina colada and get into one of the weirdest party songs that we've ever heard. Strongman. The first thing to know about Käärijä is that it's not just a stage name for Jere Pojanen. It is a whole character that Jere embodies. It's not unusual for a singer to create an alter ego. Eminem used Slim Shady to channel his anger. David Bowie invented Ziggy Stardust to satirize the excesses of celebrity worship. But when reporters ask Jere what the Käärijä character is meant to embody, his answers are always vague.
Se on vähän semmoinen niin kuin hahmo, että se täytyisi nähdä itse, mutta jos se niin kuin jotenkin pitäisi kuvailla, niin mä heittäisin siihen ehkä vaan niin kuin, että pottatukalla varustettu komealla viiksillä herrasmies.
Now, interestingly, this Eurovision season prominently featured another singer with an alter ego largely defined by a questionable haircut. Ikke Hofgold is a character played by Matthias Distel. I keep wanting to say Matthias Diesel like he's Vin Diesel's German cousin or something. It's all about family and partying. Because indeed, Matthias Distel makes party schlager music. This is a genre of simple, sing-alongable party music that is the direct descendant of what they used to sing in Austrian beer halls way back in the days of Lederhosen. Ikke Hofgold's song, which translates to the song with good lyrics, was Germany's TikTok wildcard selection at Unser Lied for Liverpool. Get it? The song with good lyrics? Get it? At first, it might seem like Käärijä and Ikke have a lot in common. They're both characters that dress in a clownish way and sing about aggressive partying.
Who wants to party?
But there's a big difference. For Matthias, the Ikke character is a way to say things he would never say himself. These are people who only see Ikke Hofgold, and he's antisocial, a sexist, and a racist because 10 years ago he painted himself black for a satirical piece. You can only see that I'm the most liberal and cosmopolitan person in real life if you want to see it. There is something deeply cynical about this. Sure, I got rich and famous for saying offensive things, but I did it wearing a wig, so it doesn't count. Jere, on the other hand, is very clear that he doesn't use Käärijä as a way of saying anything he doesn't believe in, and we kind of feel like he had Ikke in mind when he gave this interview.
Myöskään, että mä en piiloudu. Moni saattaa ajatella, että toi on hahmo siksi, että se piiloutuu jonkun jutun taakse. Niin tässä Käärijä-hommassa ei periaatteessa, tässä ei niinku piilouduta niinku minkään jutun taakse. Että
Okay, so Jere is playing an exaggerated version of certain aspects of himself. And in the case of Cha Cha Cha, we think that he's using Käärijä to explore his own introverted nature. Now usually when somebody sings about partying in a rock or a pop song, it is in the context of them being the party personified. Think about Pink's 2001 classic, Get the Party Started.
Everybody's dancing and they're dancing for me.
Or Kesha's 2009 song, TikTok.
No, the party don't start till I walk in.
Or basically any song Pitbull has ever released. These people create parties wherever they go. Parties spring up around them.
I am not in
Party.
Skylar. I am.
The party. Cha-Cha-Cha, on the other hand, is a very different kind of party song. Käärijä sings about a guy who wants to party, but he's just not feeling it. The Piña Colada reference is interesting. It's from the Caribbean, the same place the cha-cha dance comes from. So while the Piña Colada is a frozen drink, it actually evokes tropical heat. It makes sense that he would pick that drink to melt his icy shell. It's also worth mentioning that Piña Coladas, while delicious, are universally known as a girly drink.
Let's face it, Ray, you're a girl drink drunk.
No character on Sons of Anarchy has ever walked into the bar and ordered a Piña Colada. So, we're getting a picture here of somebody at the end of a long week who wants to cut loose, but he can't really drink, he can't dance, he can't let himself go, and there's a mounting frustration there. This song is the exact opposite of the safety dance. I can't dance even though I want to. I can't leave myself behind because myself don't dance, and if I don't dance, well, I'm no friend of mine. There are a couple of songs that are interesting points of comparison here. The Black Eyed Peas classic Let's Get It Started from 2003 is also about transitioning from a state of not dancing to a state of dancing. But in that case, the music of the Peas is all the stimulation that will be necessary.
We got 5 minutes for us to disconnect from all intellect and let the rhythm affect.
Käärijä also yearns to disconnect from all intellect, but the music is not going to get him there, only Piña Coladas. Contrast this with a classic New York rap song from 2004, Lean Back by the group Terror Squad.
Don't dance, we just pull up our pants and do the rock away.
It also addresses men who aren't comfortable dancing at clubs, but whereas Käärijä is trying to get over his hang-ups, Lean Back leads into it. Not dancing becomes a kind of a dance substitute for manly men.
Now lean back, lean back, lean back.
Leaning back isn't enough to satisfy Käärijä. But the music video makes it clear that for this guy, the struggle to achieve party liftoff is going to be a battle on par with Creed 3. It is in fact a race to see what's going to happen first. Käärijä loses his inhibitions and has a good time, or Käärijä gets really sleepy and has to Uber home. This is actually a subject he has tackled before. In his 2022 song, Valikoldama, he is torn between a desire to keep having fun and his utter exhaustion. Now, keep in mind that Käärijä is turning 30 later this year. He's at an age where people, not me obviously, but other people, have more responsibilities and hangovers can hit harder. And so partying with the boys like he used to might start to seem more like a challenge than a pleasure.
I'm partied out. All I want is to stay home and rent videos and watch them with a few friends.
But this song is about more than his personal experience because Finland is actually known for its reserved aloofness. Going Global, an organization that places people into international jobs, wrote a guide to Finnish culture which included this observation. Finns have a reputation for reticence, thoughtfulness, and unemotional behavior. They are quiet, reflective, somber, and for some, seemingly stubborn and standoffish. When we read this, we thought, come on, you can't have an entire nation of introverts. And then we saw an interview with Käärijä where the journalist was like, yes, we are indeed an entire nation of introverts.
Se on jotenkin tosi silleen virkistävää ja ihastuttavaa, kun en tiedä, Suomessa on ehkä vähän jotenkin ajatus, että saatetaan olla varautuneet tai ei uskalleta lähteä sinne tanssilattialle niin kuin erässä biisissä ehkä viitataan ja silleen.
And so when at the end of the song, Käärijä does break through his own shell, it is a triumphant moment. This is a song about wanting to transform into a different version of yourself, if only for a moment. Now, arguably, This isn't healthy behavior. If Käärijä has to get blackout drunk on pina coladas just to dance, then maybe dancing isn't the outlet he needs at this point in his life. Maybe he should join a soccer team or a book club or, hold on. Let me ask going global what Finnish people do for sit in a sauna. But you know what? This song portrays Käärijä's move to the dance floor as a real victory. At least for a moment, he is exactly the guy he wants to be. But what kind of a guy is that exactly? There is definitely a gendered interpretation here, especially in the music video. Käärijä is locked into a shell of toxic masculinity, symbolized by aggressive music, macho posturing, and lots of punches to the face. But he is trying to break out of his shell by consuming lots and lots of girly drinks. And when he sings about finally getting up to dance, he reappears in a flowing blonde wig. Now, just to be clear, he's not actually in drag here. He's still a man, but it's safe to say that he's accessed his more feminine glam side, and he's happier for it. It's this side of him wearing the wig that is proclaimed the victor at the end of the fight. What we really love about this song is that the lyrics tell a story about a huge shift in the character's mood, and the music tells us the same story. The song starts out with a grim synthesizer and the lyrics in a low monotone. We can sense the tension, the sourness, the bad vibes. Then the chorus comes. The song erupts into loud, aggressive metal. It's angry music about the inner struggle of the singer. But then, when Käärijä sings about moving onto the dance floor, the whole feel of the song changes. The angry metal sounds melt away. Käärijä stops rapping and starts singing, and the whole track becomes dance pop. When asked about the song's bipolar nature, Käärijä said, Finland is a party country, a heavy metal country, and a pop country. This song brings all of those together. Now, he's certainly right about the metal part. Not only is Finland the heavy metal capital of the world, it's not even close. Finland has 53.2 metal bands per 100,000 people. The second most metal country in the world, Sweden, lags significantly behind at 37.14. And let's not even talk about the United States. This graph is going to make Ronnie James Dio crawl out of his grave and shred us a new one. But Cha-Cha-Cha actually suggests a possible reason for the Finnish love of metal. Metal is the music of introverts. Let me introduce you guys to a 2010 paper, Individual Differences in Musical Taste. Over 36,000 participants rated their affinity for 104 different styles of music. They also completed a personality test. Now, to be fair, the study found that age, sex, and income had more of an impact on musical taste than personality, but personality did have an impact, and fans of heavy metal music tended to be more introverted, gentle, and creative. Fans of dance pop tended to be the exact opposite. So, the song not only reflects different styles of music that are popular in Finland, it uses them in a psychologically accurate way. When Käärijä is introverted, the song is metal. When he becomes that guy and starts to dance, it switches over to pop. And here's another cool thing about the song. The staging is also telling the same story as the lyrics and the music. Käärijä begins in an enclosed space. It could be a prison he's stuck in, but it could also be a fort that he's set up and he's too scared to leave. Either way, there's a group of cha-cha dancers trying to pull him out. Note that they are all dressed in hot pink, so once again, dancing is coded as a feminine activity. Eventually, the cha-cha dancers literally break down the walls and Käärijä can emerge onto the dance floor. And he rides the spirit of dancing itself like a big, frilly horse. And here's one more thing about the song we like. It's very audience participation friendly chorus. For decades, Eurovision songwriters have known that one way to overcome the language barrier is to give people something simple to sing along with. Sometimes it's a few repeated words in a native language that anybody can pick up. But often it's a monosyllabic nonsense word.
Get back in there right now and play Ya Ya Ding Dong!
So Cha-Cha-Cha is in good company with its silly lyrics. Now, we do want to address an unfortunate issue that's come up around the song. Some people are saying it sounds suspiciously like a 2022 song by the German band Electric Callboy. Cha 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 is far from the only Eurovision song that has been accused of plagiarism in recent years. In fact, there's been a lot of these claims flying back and forth on message boards. Here is a partial list of allegations that we dug up. Musical plagiarism cases are notoriously difficult to prove, but that doesn't stop some people from trying, especially when there's a lot of money involved.
Perry and her team found guilty of copyright infringement, a jury today awarding Christian rapper Marcus Gray $2.78 million in total damages.
In court, these claims are often dressed up with a lot of music theory to make them sound real fancy and sciencey, but at their core, they amount to somebody nudging you and saying, hey, don't these two things kind of sound the same? And that may be true, but there's a lot of reasons that could be the case. The most relevant one is genre here. Both Cha 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 and We Got the Moves live at the intersection of electronic music, rap, and rock or metal. A rap battle, if you will. Very often the things that get identified as similarities aren't really unique or innovative to the song. They're common to a lot of songs in a genre.
There's only so many notes and very few chords used in pop music. Coincidence is bound to happen if 60,000 songs are being released every day on Spotify. That's 22 million songs a year, and there's only 12 notes that are available.
Here, we're talking about the octave bass line and the disaffected, growly spoken vocal. We Got the Moose has them.
Summer mood, hot sand under my feet.
And yes, so does Cha Cha Cha. But you know what else does? The Bad Touch by the Bloodhound Gang, and that song is from 1999.
I want you smothered, want you covered like my Waffle House hash brown.
We would argue that We Got the Moves and Cha 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 are actually very different, almost opposing songs in the ways that matter. We Got the Moves has fairly cliche lyrics about how hard they like to party.
Cold beer, cheap wine, yeah, that's all that we need.
Cha 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 is about the struggle to get into that carefree, euphoric headspace. And We Got the Moves alternates its rock sections and its pop sections. Cha 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 undergoes a complete genre shift midway through to help tell the story about what the character is experiencing. It's not a genre mashup, it is a genre evolution.
Like I said at the beginning, it's not the same, it's similar to We Got the Moves, but the song is completely different, and I actually like that song pretty much, so yeah, he's a funny guy, I guess.
Cha 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 is our favorite type of Eurovision song, one that is silly and simple on the surface, but surprisingly complex when you look more closely. It's a deeply personal song, while at the same time representing something about the character of the entire nation. And did we mention that the whole thing is really fun? Because it totally is. So, Käärijä, we raise our pina coladas to you. Delicious. We'll see you next time. I gotta say, every time I have to pronounce one of these European names, I appreciate rather a little bit more. Just a little bit more.